welcome to day 16. Today we shall be looking at sensitive analysis, specifically choosing goal seek and what analysis data table. It promises to be interesting, right? Because with sensitive analysis, you can try and tweak your results, right? Or see how your result will change by changing several inputs, right? Whether the whole input, column input. We'll get more into it, right? So let's just get into the class today, and I'll see you afterwards. Thank you. So for data tables, right? So we're looking at data tables and gossip, right? So for data table, what data table helps you to do it helps you to put different assumptions in the formula to get various results. For example, assuming we have um, an interest of 10%, we want to finance €1,000 for 5 years. Um, over 5 years, 10%, right? So what I'm going to pay at the end of the day, right, is going to be principal, right, times rate times time. Simple formula. Principal times rate times time. That's what we want to calculate, right? So the principal is 6 as 1,000. The rate is 1.65 over the time, right? So that's how we want to calculate how much we are going to pay at the end of the period. So if we're getting a loan of €1,000 over 5 years, paying 10%, at the end of the day, what we're going to pay is 1,611. But let's say we want to do this thing and say, okay, so what if we pay 11%? What if we pay 12%? What if we do over 2 years, over 3 years, right? The various simulations we can get, right, by changing several things. And so that's where a data table, what analysis data table appears. So the first thing I do is that I bring in my formula, right? So this formula is what is here. So it has to be a formula, right? So I link this to the formula here. So Excel knows that okay, this is what I'm trying to calculate, right? So here in my rule, right, I put different variations of the interest rate. So 10%, 11%, it can be anything to be honest, can change to 15%. And I just put various variations. Let me add another one. Let me add 14%, for example. You can add just as one, right? The one for the column, I put in different variation of the time. So 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Let me add one. Let me add 6 years. Right? So I just did different variations of it. Right? So I want to see what would be how much would I pay if my interest rate is 10 and my years I'm doing about 2 years. What will I do if my interest is 11 and I'm doing about 2 years? So I want to see multiple variations of what I will pay in multiple scenarios. That's what I will use the table for. So all I need to do is select this table, right? So Excel knows that this is the formula. I've linked the formula here. I can actually write the formula here, but since I have the formula here already, I just link the formula there, right? So I highlight the table, right? I go to my data tab. Under my water analysis, you see data table here, right? So this data table is different from the normal data table. Now, we have to be careful, right? Because this can be confusing. Row inputs and column inputs. What is row input? What is column inputs? And detail of nature. Basically, row input is saying that what is in this is my row, right? Remember I said 13 is my row. So rows are numbers, right? So in my row, what do I have? I have 10%, 11%. So in my row, what's the variable in my rows? In my row, the variable in my row is interest. The interest rate. So I come and select this one. So because that's what I want to change. That 10%, 11% signifies everything on my row on row 13 and my interest. So I click on that, right? My column input is so in my column here, column part, what is on my column part? That is this 2, 3, 4, this column C, right? What's there? This time, different time periods. So I come here and I select my time period here, right? So I'm saying Excel, right? Change this 10, 11, 12, 13, change it here, change this 2, 3, 4, change it here, and give me and what's on top here is my in my formula. Give me different scenarios or what I will get. I have got okay, what you see is that he has run the various simulations. So say if I go take 1,000 and I do it at 14%, right? I will pay 1,300, right? If I do it in 2 years. So like I have different options. And I can say okay, which one is the cheapest option, right? For me, right? Which one will I pay the least? Which is obviously 10% in 2 years, right? And what I'll pay the highest is obviously 14%. 40% in 5 years, right? So what I'll put there is right? This is 5 years, right? If I change to 6 years, right? So you can see it calculates the again, right? So I have the luxury, right, of having multiple options, right? So this one you can use to show um, uh, different variations in whatever in your analysis or whatever you're trying to present, right? So this data table helps with forecasting, right? So I'm forecasting various variables, right? By changing the inputs multiple times, right? You can do it. You can only have only. I mean, it's possible for you to have only row input and not have column input, right? So let's let's try the same thing, right? So let's say we don't have this, or let's say we don't have this, right? That and let me print it here. Without this, right? We only want to change the um we only want to change the timing, right? We want the 10% the same thing, but we won't change the timing. All I have to do the same thing. Highlight everything here, come to what analysis data table. Now this time all I have is column input because everything is in one column, right? So row input is nothing. My column input, right, which is the time I put it here, and I press enter. I see calculate various. So if it's two, if it's three, if it's four, if it's five, if it's six, right? So you can do it only roll, you can do only input. It depends on whatever you're doing, right? And next thing we'll look at is goal seek, right? And I really love goal seek. Goal seek is almost like that input, just for one thing, right? So for example, right, let's say we have revenues of 500 million, for example, or 500 billion, variable cost of 305 billion, our gross margin is 115. Gross margin is 500 minus. I'm doing something very basic, right? Right, that is 1 by 5. That's our profit basically. And we have the salaries. They are the people that we pay salaries, right? And our salary to revenue ratio, right? So let's say so salary over revenue, right, is 15%. So our salary to revenue ratio is 15%. That will have salary to revenue ratio 15%. And if I say, oh, salary to revenue ratio is too high, we are paying for too much, right? So I want to reduce the salary to revenue ratio to about 10%, right? By changing maybe Katie Taylor's salary. So I want to change this salary to revenue ratio to 10% by changing Katie Taylor's salary. How do I work around that? Right? That's where Bossy comes along. So I go to my data tab, come to what analysis, you see goal seek. So goal seek, basically you are seeking for a goal. You are seeking for a goal. Now, this is what you're asking us. Goal seek. What what cell do you want to set? That means what cell do you want to achieve a particular number? That means cell C18, right, is what we want to set, right? We want to set cell C18 to what? To 10%. I said we want to make it 10%. We don't make it 15% by changing what cell. And so we want to achieve this by changing KC Taylor salary. So I come here and select Taylor salary. So what this will do that you change my salary to revenue ratio to 10% by changing the KC Taylor salary. I have gone okay. You see, work the different parameters and tell me that. So it adjusted it for me. If I want my salary to revenue ratio to be 10% by changing KC Taylor salary, I actually want to drop as low as 5 million for me to get that 10%. Right? So basically, I've run the simulation to say if I want to achieve that, this is what's going to happen. So let me cancel that, right? Because I still want it to have 30. So let's say that may not work because I mean Casey is big guess. I don't want the salary to reduce. So what if I want to make this 10%, but I want to change it by changing our revenue. So what our revenue needs to be in order for me to have a salary to revenue ratio of 10%. The same thing. I go to my data tab, what analysis, I go to goal seek. Now I want to set this to 10%, right? Set cell 16 to 10%, right? I put my 10% number by changing revenue, right? By changing the revenue, right? I click on okay, it runs simulation. I say my revenue has to be 746, 747, put in 1 billion, right? In order for me to get that 10% slide to revenue issue, right? And if I'm okay with this, I click okay, and it gets automatically changes, right? So, um, goal seek analysis and data table analysis are for only sensitization. I mean, it's only sensitivity analysis, right, on your forecast to get or to see what your output will be by changing either one input, multiple inputs, or several inputs, right? So that's what um, goal seek and data, what your analysis data table is all about. Thank you very much. That was simple, right? Data. what if analysis data table, and goal seek, right? Goal seek is a gem, to be honest. Like, it's a gem. Like, I always go back to video whenever again, right? Just trying to say, okay, if I change this, if I change this, how my outcome change, right? And that tables as well, right? You can change multiple inputs, right? You can say, oh, if my input is 5%, 10%, 20%, how will my output change, right? It's really useful as you work in your data analysis journey. Thank you guys for joining today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Right, the course notes can be gotten at www.nkagoogle.com/library, and I'll see you tomorrow where we have our next live class. Right? Thank you so much, and bye.